Hello, Univane here. Welcome to my introductory video on how to install and use Redline. In this video, I will cover what Redline does, how do you get it, how do you install it, how do you use it, and why you should use it. Hope you like the video. Thanks for watching.
Okay, so what is Redline? Redline is FireEye's premier free endpoint security tool. As a leading company in cybersecurity, I wanted to learn their tool as it provides host investigative capabilities to detect malicious activity and compromise the system through memory and file analysis. Through that, it helps develop a threat assessment profile for users. One thing to note is that Redline used to be a tool originally called Mandiant, which is also the name of a private company founded in 2004 by Kevin Mandia. Mandiant originally provided incident response services in the event of a data security breach. Prior to being acquired by FireEye in 2014 of January, Mandiant was partnered with FireEye, who often identified a security breach, then teamed up with Mandiant to investigate who the hackers were. Okay, so what can Redline do? In order to find out what the tool can do, we're going to visit FireEye's website and go to the resources page for the software and read the description. So open up a browser and in the URL bar type in www.fireeye.com. And on the home page, we're going to go to the resources tab, and under free tools and apps, click the free software downloads link. That should take us to the software page. If we scroll down, you will see that FireEye does provide a variety of analysis tools. The one that we're learning today is Redline. So we're going to click on Redline here, and that should take us to the Redline page. On this page, FireEye explains what Redline's features are. Basically, Redline is a easy-to-use GUI interface that makes it easier for users to analyze collective data to help identify malicious activity through memory and file analysis. With Redline, you can thoroughly audit and collect all running processes and drivers from memory, file system metadata, registry data, event logs, network information, services, tasks, and web history. It can also analyze and view imported audit data, including the ability to filter results around a given time frame using Redline's timeline functionality with the time wrinkle and time crunch features. The third feature lists that it can streamline memory analysis with a proven workflow for analyzing malware based on relative priority. Lastly, it can perform indicators of compromise, or IOC, analysis. Supplied with a set of IOCs, the Redline portable agent is automatically configured to gather the data required to perform the IOC analysis and an IOC hit result review. If we scroll to the bottom of this page, you can see that Redline is currently at 1.20.2 version as of June 8, 2018. And in this version, Redline introduces support for large file and registry audits. Redline also has been improved to address issues related to efficiency and memory management. Let's move on to downloading Redline. So scroll back up to the top of the page again, and on this page it is required that you complete this form in order to download Redline. Once you've completed the form, click the download now button, and that should download Redline. I've already downloaded it, but once you've finished the download, it should go to your downloads folder, and it should be called Redline-1.20.2, which is the current version I am installing as of today, March 24th, 2019. Go ahead and right click on it and click install, and click next. Accept the EULA agreement, and I'm just going to choose just me because I don't want anyone else using it other than me. If you click on disk cost, you'll see that Redline only uses 349 megabytes of disk space, which is not that much. Go ahead and click OK here. Choose the install path that you want. I'm just going to do it to the default path here. Click next, and click next again to initiate the installation. Shouldn't take too long, and let it install. And there we have it. It is installed. Okay, now that Redline is installed, how do we use it? The cool thing about Redline is once you install it, it also gives you a user installation guide, which can be found in the installation directory of wherever you installed Redline. For me, it was in the C drive, program files, x86, and we're going to go to Redline. Here we go. And in the Redline folder, there's a file called Redline User Guide. We're going to double click to open that. And it does provide information about Redline, installation instructions, Redline collectors, which we'll go over briefly, analysis session creation, analysis data, investigation, use cases and best practices, Redline licenses, support, glossary, and index. Going back to the Redline collectors, I wanted to show that Redline has 3 types of collectors. It has the standard collector, which is basically a basic collection configuration to collect data. The one that you really want to use that is most important and recommended is the comprehensive collector, which does everything the standard collector does and more. We'll go over this as we use Redline. And then the indicators of compromise search collectors, or IOC search collector. This one basically you use when you want to look for indicators of compromise and match selected indicators of compromise data. So we're going to minimize that. And to launch Redline, open up your Windows start bar and type in Redline, or you can launch it from the installation path as well. And here we are. Okay, so Redline opens up with 2 options, collect data and analyze data. Collect data lets you create a standard collector, a comprehensive collector, or an IOC search collector. And analyze data lets you analyze the data from a saved memory file or a previous analysis. Now, we don't have anything to analyze yet, so the first things we need to do is collect data. I'll first do the standard collector to show you what the difference is between the standard and comprehensive. But basically what the creating the collector does is it creates a collection package onto a USB flash drive or storage media that you can insert into the targeted or infected machine, run the collector, and it'll run and look for any malicious activity and save it into a report file, which then you would analyze the report file and review the file for any malicious activity. So first things first, let's click the standard collector. And in the start your analysis session window, you always want to make sure that acquire memory image is always checked. It's very important that you check this because you want to review and acquire memory data so that it can be analyzed for any malicious activity. Click on edit your script. A new window opens called View and Edit Your Script, and you see there are 5 tabs: Memory, Disk, System, Network, and Other. Now for the standard collector, all that's checked is process listing, drivers enumeration, hook detection, and acquire memory image under the Memory tab. And of course under each of these options here you see sub options for what to collect on. You can select more of these for a more comprehensive scan or collection if you want. If you go over to the Disk tab, you see that nothing is checked. Under System, only one option is checked: Machine and OS information. Network, nothing is checked, and Other, nothing is checked. Again, this is a basic standard collection. If you want, you can select these options if you want a more comprehensive scan. But again, we're going to cancel out of that and go back to the comprehensive collector. Check the same checkbox and click Edit Your Script, and you can see that this is a way more comprehensive collection method than the standard collector package, because under the Disk tab there are options, way more options that are checked to collect data on. Of course, nothing under SHA-256 or SHA-1 or strings is checked, but we can click those to check it. I'm just going to click on everything here to collect all the data on this current machine. Normally we would do this on a target or effective machine, but I don't have one, so we're gonna do it on this machine for the purpose of this tutorial. Click OK. And under the Save Your Collector to, this is where you choose the media device you want to install the collector package on. So we're going to click Browse, and I have a flash drive already in place. It has already created a file, but I'm going to delete this just to show you. Yes. Okay. We're going to select the flash drive. Now you can see that you cannot save the collector file to the root of your flash drive. There has to be a directory in order for you to save the collector to. So in order to do that, we're going to click Browse, and we're going to recreate the folder I just created earlier. So collector package. Okay, we're going to select that folder. It's selected now, and the red error message went away. So click OK. That'll create the portable collector and gives you collector instructions on how to run the collector. So basically, step 1, your collector package is created and saved to the location you specified. And step 2, on the machine you want to audit, run the run redline audit.bat script, preferably for the removable media. The script will run the collector as you configured it and save the results to a folder named Sessions Analysis Session 1. And every time you run that run redline audit.bat, it will create a new analysis session folder called Analysis Session 2, Analysis Session 3, etc. And then when the collection is finished, you want to transfer the results back to the analysis machine, which is this machine, which we're also going to be running the analysis on, the collector on. And then double click the analysis session.mans file located in the analysis session folder. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. We're going to go to the flash drive here. We're going to double click on collector package, and inside the collector package folder there are a few files, including the file that we need to run, which is the run redline audit.bat. We're going to right click on that and expect it. Oops, right click, and you can see that there are a few lines of code here that is ran to collect the data that we configured it to run. There are a few other JavaScript files, VB script files, as well as the x64 and x86 folders, which includes an xAGT.exe file that is a FireEye agent application that is used when this run redline audits.bat file is executed to acquire the data. So we're just going to run this file. It'll pop up really fast, and this takes about an hour. So we'll let that run, and there it goes. It is collecting. I think I ran 2. Okay, we only want to run one, so here we go. We'll come back in an hour. Okay, so the collection finally finished. It took a lot longer than an hour. As you can see, I did finish on 11:59 a.m. the next day, or today. If you right click on Audits folder and go to Properties, you can see that the collection collected 6.98 gigabytes of data. And that's just because we did the comprehensive collection. If we did the standard and chose less options, it would have been a lot less. But with the comprehensive scan, we're doing a lot more. And it all depends on your system as well. So what I went ahead and did was clicked on the Analysis Session 1 Mandiant Analysis file, and that automatically loaded it into Redline, and it is now creating a new analysis session. This process can take a while. I did start this a little earlier just to get it going, and we'll come back to the video when it's done. Alright, so the analysis session is created. It brings you to a Start Your Investigation page showing the system information and 4 options to choose from. And on the left hand side you see analysis data, which is all the collected information that you configured earlier in the comprehensive scan to collect. So the first option here is reviewing a triage collection from HX. This is FireEye's endpoint threat prevention platform, which is a commercial product that works with Redline The second option which we'll choose is the I am investigating a host based on an external investigative lead. Third is I am reviewing a web history data. And fourth, I want to search my data with a set of indicators of compromise, which we don't have, or nor are we doing a web history data. So we're going to go ahead and proceed with clicking the I'm investigating a host based on external investigative lead. This takes you to a detailed window showing you the timestamp, field, and summary of the next task scheduled to run. You can see the timeline configuration, which we're going to leave default, and then under the analysis data pane shows all the collected information on system information, processes, hierarchical processes, file system, registry, and so on. I'm not going to show my system information because it provides private information about my system, but basically this shows you the machine information, the operating system, and the BIOS. We're going to go ahead and click on processes. The processes show the process name of all the processes on the system, as well as the PID, the path, the arguments, username, start time, and so on. And then we're going to go over to the file system. The file system has useful information that we also want to look at. The file system shows basically all the information collected on your C drive or any drives that you might have on the target system. Looking at the file system, I went to my desktop, and we're just going to click one of these links here, one of these paths here, to view the information on the path. Okay, so that took a while, but basically the path will, the item on the desktop will show you the metadata, the hashes, timestamps, user information, file path parts, PE info, advanced PE info, digital signature, and exports information. A lot of useful information here if you want to look at what application is on the desktop or what items are on the desktop. And then also the registry. The registry shows all the registry keys on the system. You can see the path, the type, the text value, even the username associated with the registry key, when it was last modified, and the security hash. We're going to go over to Windows Services. And here you can see all the services that are running on the machine by the descriptive name, the description, the path, and any arguments for the service. We're going to skip persistence and go over to users. This one's very useful in the sense that you want to know how many users are on the machine, and who uses the machine, whether the account is disabled, locked out, and if a password is required. This definitely shows some vulnerabilities here, especially if users don't have a password. We'll take a look at the event logs to show all the events logged on the system as well. There's a lot of useful information that Redline collects that you can look at. Unfortunately, I wasn't browsing anything or downloading anything in order for us to use the browser URL history or file download history options. But it's a really good tool, and why you should use it? Well, don't limit yourself to just one set of tools. It's always good to have different type of analysis tools. Redline is a very easy to use GUI-based tool that doesn't involve any command line. The downside of it is that it only analyzes Windows systems and doesn't do Mac or Linux systems. Maybe not yet, but this whole process really didn't take me a lot of time to download and learn. It took some playing with, but overall the program does collect and provide a lot of useful information. I hope this information was helpful and useful to you, and thanks for watching.